We conquer mountains. But that's not why they call us mountaineers. It's because we don't let anything stand in our way. We build what's never been built. Seek cures for the incurable. And go first into undiscovered frontiers. We are mountaineers, and impossible is just another mountain to climb.
Did you know that a dirty CPAP system can make you sick? If you knew what could be growing in your mask and hose, it would keep you up at night. Now SoClean.com has released the world's first and only automated hands-free CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. With its patented design, SoClean is fast, effective, and hands-free, killing 99.9% of all CPAP germs. Try SoClean now through this special TV offer free for 30 days. Just call 800-590-6350.
My health has improved. It's simple to use, and I'm not worried about infections.
SoClean works on all CPAP machines and popular masks, destroying CPAP bacteria, viruses, and germs without the daily hassle of washing your system by hand. Just place your mask in, close the lid, and in just minutes, voila, sanitized and ready to use. Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. This is a limited time offer. Call now, 800-590-6350, or visit SoClean.com today.
Back here in Morgantown, West Virginia, where it's Pink Day, and many are wearing pink to honor the fight against breast cancer. The Mountaineers are big supporters of the cause, and the soccer program is doing its part in kicking cancer.
I'm Dee, and I kick cancer from my grandmother, Laura, whose second battle with this disease inspires me to fight every single day.
Hi, I'm Vanessa, and I kick cancer for my grandmother and my aunt because they're the two strongest people I know.
I'm Nadia, and I kick cancer for my aunt and every single woman fighting this battle.
I'm Addison Clark, and I kick cancer for all the survivors and the current men, women, and children fighting cancer. You guys are such an inspiration to me and everyone.
Hi, I'm Grace Cutler, and a lot of people ask me where I get my swag and my Jordans from, and it's from Ken Swanson, and that's who I'm kicking cancer for.
My name's Amanda, and I kick cancer for my Nana, my mom, and Frank. They inspire me every single day to push past adversity, to push past pain, to push past trouble. So this one's for you.
I am Nikki Izzo Brown, and I am kicking cancer with a fierce attitude, a heavy heart, and a lot of support to kick this disease. I'm doing it for Diane Holden, who lost her battle to breast cancer, who's my mother-in-law, my special aunt, Dolores Mancuso, who lost her battle to breast cancer. I'm doing it to Kelly Brown, who is battling breast cancer right now and winning. And then I got some special peeps that have fought cancer, Lisa Scott Duper and Eddie Mancuso. I love all you guys.
An amazing story. Our thanks to the Mountaineers soccer and video staffs for providing us with that moving piece. When we come back, we'll talk further with West Virginia's head coach, Nikki Izzo Brown.
Guys, if you're in your 40s, 50s, or 60s, we're about to rock your world.
I'm Chris Steele, and like most men over the age of 30, I too noticed a decline in the way that I looked and felt. But then I found GF9, the first and only non-prescription, non-injection dietary supplement clinically shown to naturally increase your HGH levels up to 682%. GF9 helps to give me that extra boost so that I can stay on top of my game even in my 50s.
HGH has been associated with increasing lean muscle mass, strengthening bones and joints, reducing body fat, recovering quicker, sleeping better, and improving your energy, mood, and performance.
HGH is a powerful youth hormone that your body naturally produces. After the age of 25, your natural HGH production slows dramatically. But now, you can rev up your natural HGH production with GF9.
GF9 has been featured in top fitness publications and is getting 5-star reviews by men everywhere. It's already changing thousands of lives, and it can change yours. And today, you can try GF9 risk-free for 30 days. We'll even include free shipping. Plus, be one of the first 300 to order, and we'll send you Testrovax, our #1 testosterone-boosting compound that naturally helps increase your testosterone levels up to 42% in just 12 days. Sold in retail for over $60, it's your free gift when you order today. Whatever your age, you can play to win every time. It doesn't matter because with GF9, you can always be your best. No, it's not a magic youth pill, but it just might be the next best thing.
So don't wait to claim your 30-day supply of GF9.
Call 1-800-350-5097 to order GF9 risk-free or go to buygf9.com.
Welcome back to Morgantown, West Virginia. We're at Dick Daleske Soccer Stadium, and I'm joined by head coach of West Virginia, Nikki Izzo-Brown. And it's a pink match today, a very special day. And I know this is so important to your team. Why is this initiative so important to you and your program?
Well, being a female sport, I think that we can do a lot for the cause for females with breast cancer. And, you know, it started 17 years ago that not only do we want to bring awareness, but we want to raise money. And it's so important. So many of us are affected. You know, 1 out of 8, you know, women will be affected by this disease. And if we could do anything to stop it, that's our goal.
And you just mentioned you're raising money. This isn't just about wearing pink. You raised $8,000 last year, I believe $131,000 over the last 14 years. How have you seen that money make an impact locally here?
You know, everybody gets involved and everybody understands, you know, that just a little bit can go a long way. If it's, you know, bringing, you know, some type of gift bag to someone fighting the disease, then that means the world to them, and giving them that energy that someone's thinking about them because they're battling for their lives at that point. But it has, and, you know, everybody in our community and especially in our breast cancer center has really embraced what we're trying to do and how we do it.
This you know, cancer is so personal to everybody, but I know it's personal to you as well. How is it personal?
You know, every time, you know, somebody asks me about it, it started with losing my special aunt to the disease, and then my mother-in-law. But now it's all around you, and it's so awful that I have so many friends and so many family members that have battled or are battling or have lost their battle. And I just think that we can empower this cause. Sometimes I have a platform like this where I could get out and just give a big shout, and if it helps a little bit to encourage someone that is much stronger than me and has more energy than me to fight it, then this is what I'm going to do. But if I can also help it, I want to help it.
Well, you're helping it quite a bit, and we appreciate so much what you're doing and so much what everybody here in Morgantown and the Big 12 Conference is doing today to battle this disease. We'll be back for second half action after this between Texas and West Virginia. Welcome back to Morgantown, West Virginia. We're at Dick Daleske Soccer Stadium, where the Texas Longhorns lead West Virginia 1-0. And maybe the important stat to take a look at is the temperature. Unseasonably warm here in Morgantown, 86 degrees. 62% humidity. That led to Texas having 8 subs coming into the game in the first half, and West Virginia 7. And the fans in the stands fanning themselves, shading themselves. It is very hot here in West Virginia. Along with Jessica Stamp, I'm Brenda Van Lingen. Jessica, let's take a look at the stats. West Virginia dominating the shots, but Texas winning on the scoreboard.
Kind of shows you the danger of Sierra Hinson and Haley Berg. Those two, when they combine, it is scary, dangerous, and they combined on that goal, and that's all they need right now. But West Virginia was pressing really all half to try to make up for this goal, but you can see here how Hinson also dishes it, and Haley Berg is so composed inside that box and slips that left-footed shot in, and it takes a deflection. You can see how frustrated Riley Foster is because they do have the majority of the chances, West Virginia. They have been pressing all first half and lead by a pretty wide margin, 13 shots to only Texas 2.
Some of those shots you talked about from West Virginia, 13 shots, 5 on goal. Just couldn't get one to find the back of the net.
And all credit to Nicole Curry, because a lot of these she had to make very fast reactions to. And also on that backside there, Chelsea Sucree has done a good job, but a lot of penetration into the box out of the midfield for West Virginia. And Coach Izzo Brown talked about how important that is this year after they've lost Michaela Bam up top, their kind of target goal scorer. They lost her, so they're needing those midfielders to push forward and help out that free front.
One at a time. And I told
West Virginia gathering together, Nikki Izzo Brown talking to her team.
We're going to show them the intensity piece. You brought it, but now you got to bring it more. Okay, I told you that we were going to have to defend for our lives. You did that. Now you got to do it a little bit more now. And then I told you we got to finish, and we know how we got to finish. We know everything they're doing. It just takes that one, and we got to be a little bit better and a little bit sharper. Extending our runs, running the ball, taking care of the ball. Let's go, guys. Come on.
Let's go, come on!
That goal by Texas in the first half was the first half goal that West Virginia has allowed in the last 7 games. It was to Georgetown the last time, and that was a 2-0 loss. West Virginia has not won this year when they allow their opponent to score first. Texas hasn't lost this year when scoring first. So the stats are on the side of Texas, but we still have an entire half to play here in Morgantown, and West Virginia has been very tough historically to beat here on their home field.
Yeah, and I think they have this extra push, as you just saw Coach Izzo Brown talk about how we have got to get through this rough patch of figuring out how to score, because that's what makes the game fun, is scoring. That's what's fun about this game. And like she said, don't get frustrated. It just takes one, and it kind of opens those floodgates. So you're going to see this West Virginia team come out just as fast as they did in that first half, try and get one early so that the momentum is on their side the rest of the half. And Texas, I don't think, can just sit back the whole entire half. They need to open it up a bit more, try and find Hinson a lot more up top.
So starters back on the field. Hinson, their number 13. Texas in white will be going right to left here in the second half. West Virginia in their pink uniforms, as you saw our halftime pieces about the pink match. And the Mountaineers trying to mount something. The play ahead. St. George pushing ahead in traffic. 4 Longhorn defenders back to stop, and Shauna plays it out to Emma Jett, who pushes it forward. West Virginia up the left flank. Out of bounds, it'll be a throw-in for Texas.
I do think a key for West Virginia is getting St. George forward a lot more than she did in the first half. So you see her pushing forward and just too many white jerseys around the ball. She couldn't quite get it loose to find a connection there up top. But St. George, their team captain, she's bringing that energy on that right side already, and that's going to be that dictates this energy today for West Virginia, is St. George kind of helping them bring that energy in the second half.
Gordon on the right flank, over to Flores.
You can see she's just sitting high up there. She's kind of sitting in this little pocket next to Gordon. That allows Gordon to push out wide, and then St. George is sending a little bit more centrally up higher. But I like that idea, not just because St. George is such a good player coming forward offensively, but they're down a goal. So I think sending more and more often those backs to help out those forwards, help get them loose, find some spaces in and around the box, that's going to be really helpful for West Virginia.
Free kick for Texas. Atu Mashana, such a great story. Covered sports for a lot of years, and this may be the first opportunity that I have to say that her grandmother played college sports as well as her mother. Women's sports, of course, have not had that opportunity for so many years, and so it's awesome to see that Her mom played basketball at Minnesota. And a very athletic family for Mashana. Excuse me, it was actually Henson's grandmother who has played, her grandmother played volleyball and softball at West Texas State. That's Sierra Henson. But the mother of Atu Mashana also played basketball at Minnesota. So very athletic families for these young women. Charging through, Berg plays it ahead, but can't chase it down, and they'll knock it back to Foster. Mashana to Dallas. To Henson, out wide to Glenn. Glenn pushing it through. At the end of it is Berg. And going down in a heap as Adams tried to get it, but no call. And here comes West Virginia. No, stolen away by Dallas.
Stay on, left.
There's Henson. Just not very clean with the ball here.
You got it, you got it.
Berg into the box, over to Henson. Henson so dangerous with the ball, crossing. Still in play. Adams gives chase.
Keep working, Haley, keep working. Keep working, Haley.
A lot of bodies flying all over here as the intensity increases.
You can see all this pressure on Berg there, and then Adams as well getting in on it. Adams was the one that just missed that header on the far post. Henson just whipped it across the box to that far post, and it just a little bit high. Adams couldn't quite rise up and meet it there, but better from Texas. They're keeping it a little bit better in the midfield here. Dallas, instead of dumping it into the corners, is now trying to possess a bit with Henson and Berg. I do think the more those players have their feet on the ball, including Glenn, the better for Texas.
St. George playing it ahead, and a shot and goal for West Virginia. Shania Gordon scores her 5th goal of the year, and it's the equalizer in this match. And it's not going to count as it was called offsides. Gordon out in front, and the penalty. So it's still 1-0. Gordon thought she had it. Just trickled out a little too far beyond the defenders.
Of course that would happen for West Virginia as they finally get their breakthrough.
Here comes Henson. Ahead to Glenn. Glenn. And still an opportunity for Berg as the defenders converge. But let's look back at the chance on the other end for West Virginia.
Some pretty play here, and St. George sends it in behind, and just a little bit off is Gordon, but nice shot from her. And the takeaway from that is it was a nice finish. So just keep doing that type of execution. Here she is, central as well. Nice far post shot.
And Gordon just played that off the defender, but here's that reaction. She wanted that goal so badly.
Super frustrated. I understand that frustration. She's the senior leader up top here for West Virginia. She's had over 40 shots this season. She's got 4 goals, and so 1 goal per 10 shots. It's frustrating, and finally when she connects, it's taken away.
Texas on the run. West Virginia fouled. It'll be a free kick for the Mountaineers. As Bianca St. George, former member of the Canadian U20 women's national team, has a 4.0 GPA as she is on the end of that one. Serves it into the box. And cleared from danger by number 17, Amber Stearns. Shania Gordon, who was denied that goal, has had 4 goals in the last 6 games and hungry for another here. Serving the cross, and on the end of it is Curry. West Virginia will be able to throw it in on the far side. Texas leading 1-0 here in Morgantown. Segala.
So here's Curry again. She's just so focused, and she's reading the game so well that she's just predicting where these balls are coming in. It's almost like she's a step early. She's a step earlier than these forwards oftentimes, and just really locked in right now for Texas in between the posts.
The 5th corner of the game for West Virginia. Vanessa Flores gonna line it up. Flores off the mark. She had one of those also in the first half that went behind the goal. St. George retrieves. St. George, one of those Mac Hermann Trophy candidates for West Virginia, along with Riley Foster, the goalkeeper. Jordan Brewster had that shot. And Nicole Curry will boot it away. Gill. To Gordon, back to Gill, and taken away by Dallas. But West Virginia retains possession. And here comes Hinson away with it. We're in Morgantown, West Virginia. Big 12 soccer. Hinson, the Big 12 goal-scoring leader, passes ahead. And the shot misses on the near post by Alexa Adams. Texas leading 1-0 in this battle of top 20 teams. Take a listen.
So head on a swivel there. Hinson was looking for help. She got pulled to the side left, and you could see she was just looking up, finds Alexa Adams, who makes a really good run in behind, and trying to curl that ball back in toward that near post. I think Foster had it covered there, but Texas just good on the counterattack.
Keep moving. Keep moving. Keep going. Hold down back.
Call the foul on Jet. Free kick for West Virginia. Jessica, as West Virginia's had so many opportunities to attack, what are you seeing from the Texas defense that is making it so hard to penetrate and get that goal?
They're playing really tight on the players, which is good. Mashana especially is tracking Segala there, and they're just holding their feet on these 1v1s. So they're doing a little bit better with Gordon on the right side this half as she gets the ball around the box here and takes a shot wide. But I think their issue right now, Texas, is they're turning the ball over immediately to West Virginia, and they're picking it up just like that and getting a shot off. So if Texas wants to close this game out, if that's their plan, they need to keep the ball a lot longer. So they need to find Berg and Hinson up top and allow them to possess in the middle if it's not on to get in behind.
Carly Allen, number 5, checks in, spelling Keira Dallas. There is a re-entry opportunity on a substitution in the second half of play, so Dallas could come back in. We saw a lot of substituting in the first half. It is 84 degrees here in Morgantown, very hot. Haley Berg up the right side, hounded by West Virginia defenders. Maya Keith comes away with it. Abram up the left flank. Giving chase now is Segala. Segala with an opportunity. Segala out front. Segala being hounded by a good defensive effort from Paige Hooper, but it will be a corner kick again for West Virginia.
Good ball here from Abraham in behind, and Segala uses her physical frame to kind of hold off Hooper there, and she's just trying to slip it. But Hooper doing a good job staying goal side and not allowing much of a window there for Segala.
So a change here on the corner kick. It's going to be Hannah Abraham this time with the corner kick. Into the box, the header. Jordan Brewster on the end of it. And it will be another corner kick.
Curry's not scared to come out and try and disrupt these balls here in the box.
Abraham serves it up again, the header. And West Virginia not able to keep it in play as it goes off St. George. Number 3, Emily Strooppower in for Texas, spelling Katie Glenn. Glenn, an all Big 12 first teamer last year.
Let's go, Be smart, let's keep it.
The throw in. West Virginia on the attack, no. It'll be a goal kick for Texas. Texas' only loss of the season to TCU last Sunday. It had 2 draws on the year. They are 10-1-2. On the season. They picked up a win at Iowa State on Friday before traveling here to Morgantown. This is the 4th game of a 4-game road trip for Texas. Mashana. Texas still leading 1-0. The only goal of the game in the 19th minute of the first half by Berg.
That's the combination that everyone was expecting to be lethal, is Berg and Hinson pairing up together up top. And even with all those pink jerseys around those 2 players, they're still able to find just enough space to find a finish.
Nice pass by Hinson to set it up, who draws so much attention. Turner into the game for Texas, number 10, and Ferrer Van Ginkel for West Virginia, along with Amanda Seaman. So again, substitutes. There's Amanda Seaman, the senior out of Bridgeport, West Virginia. So we're seeing the continuation, both these coaches using a lot of subs with the high heat and humidity here in Morgantown. 84 degrees, 64% humidity. It is taxing both teams as we're about the 27 minutes to go in the second half.
Let me see, hold on.
But West Virginia has their leading scorer off the bench. She's the leading scorer overall, but she comes off the bench. Ferrer Van Ginkel, number 21. She is now in the game, so let's look to see if West Virginia tries to use that tool, that asset, for a scoring opportunity.
She is a super creative player, Van Ginkel, there in the middle. She's from Spain, and I know she had a little bit of trouble adjusting to the physical American style. It's just very fast. This game's a perfect example of the American style. Very fast, very physical, and it just is a quick game in terms of passing. It's 1 and 2 touch, whereas she comes from Spain. It's a little bit more creative on the ball, a little bit more take on technical, and she had a little bit of trouble adjusting last year, but Coach Izzo Brown said that she's really found herself in that attacking midfield role for West Virginia this year, and also produced the goals. She's the goal leader with 5 for the team coming off the bench.
There she is on the left flank. That's Abraham. There's Ferrer Van Ginkel, just talking about. Unable to clear it. West Virginia with an opportunity into the box. The cross. And Mashana on that back line. We talked so much earlier about the West Virginia back line, but the back line for Texas has been strong, as well as the play of Curry in the goal.
Very strong. They kind of had to figure out that flank space for Shania Gordon, but they seem to have solved that quite a bit.
The clock is stopped at 24:54 to go here in the second half as a Texas player is down. Again, the heat and humidity taking its toll on both teams. The first half we saw Mackenzie McFarland for Texas being helped off the pitch. Teammates trying to help her out with what looks like a muscle cramping situation here. Hydration so important as the rest of the players on the field coming over to grab something to drink.
So these moments can be important in terms of gathering yourselves as a team, talking for a minute, kind of refocusing. If the momentum is shifted in one direction, the teams can kind of regroup. So I think Texas here is feeling a little bit of pressure from West Virginia, so they can actually take this moment to regroup, talk about, hey, we need to relieve some of this pressure at this point.
It was Chelsea Supri who was on the ground having her teammates help her out. And she grabs something to drink. You can see in the stands where we have 2,081 people in attendance, 4th best attendance in history here at West Virginia, and they support their soccer team so well. But you can see the umbrella, the pink, it's a pink match. The West Virginia players wearing their pink jerseys, so many in the stands also in pink, in addition to the old gold and blue of West Virginia. But it's hot. It is hot in those stands as you see many umbrellas and fanning and visors and caps to try to protect. Brewster with the shot, just wide. At halftime, we saw many of the breast cancer supporters here being honored. We talked to the players as they raised $131,000 over the last 14 years. We talked to Nikki Izzo Brown, and you see the fans in attendance and what this community has done to support this cause and raise these dollars. Jade Gentile into the game for West Virginia, and Kara Dallas back in, replacing, or also Taylor Curry back into the game. Ahead, Sigali with another opportunity. And it goes back to Texas.
Good ball by Brewster here, but just well played by Paige Hooper, again, being goal side and ball side, so she wasn't allowing Sigala get a hold of it there in the box. Those center backs for Texas have been solid all day today, so I think maybe a good strategy for West Virginia would be to turn the corners on these outside backs. Shania Gordon has had a lot of luck on the side, so instead pushing the ball toward the post and maybe squaring it back to the PK spot or the 18 for Nadia Gill or one of those center mids running on. I think that'll be more effective just because they've been so solid in Mashana and Hooper in that center position in the back.
That's the voice of Jessica Stamp, former midfielder for UCLA, covering Big 12 Conference soccer for the last 15 years. I'm Brenda Van Lingen alongside. We're at Dick DeLesk Stadium here in Morgantown, West Virginia. Texas still leads 1-0. West Virginia has not lost in regulation in 41 conference games. They lost in overtime to Baylor for their first loss, but that was in overtime. But they've never lost in regulation for the last 41 games here at Dick DeLesk Soccer Stadium. So West Virginia desperate right now, trying to put something together, trying to find the back of the net. Nadia Gill over to Cutler. To Brewster. To the right side to Seaman. And is thwarted by Emma Jett for Texas. That back line for Texas holding strong.
Another corner kick opportunity here for West Virginia. They've had several, so they need to try and pick out a player here. Maybe not send it so close to Curry, who has been so good. So Flores needs to see if she can get it away from Curry just a bit.
8th corner kick, far post, header, off the mark. And more subs as Alina Stahl, the freshman, number 24, coming onto the pitch for West Virginia. Sigala will leave, and Katie Glenn is going in, as well as Sierra Henson back onto the pitch. Berg coming out, and Taylor Curry as well. And you can have that in college soccer. You can have that re-entry if a player goes out in the second half. They can re-enter one time. Henson, the leading goal scorer in the Big 12 Conference, set up the only goal of the game when she set up Haley Berg in the 19th minute in the first half. Now entering into the game, Lois Joel, the sophomore from England. Amanda Seaman out. And the throw in. Texas throw in on the near side, right in front of the West Virginia bench. Henson. Henson on the left flank. Double team, drawing a lot of attention.
You're okay, you're okay.
And the quick transition by West Virginia. Lois Joel pushing out ahead. Looking for help and finds none. Right to the feet of Emma Jett.
I said no. Sorry. We'll keep playing.
Missed opportunity there for Joel. She had Alina Stahl making a great run in behind the defense, but I think the ball just got underneath Joel's body just a little bit where she couldn't slip it through to her. Good run by Stahl there.
West Virginia has, as we mentioned earlier, has not lost in regulation at home in 41 conference matches. That's 27 since entering the Big 12. They were in the Big East prior to that, but this has been a place where conference opponents have not been able to have success. And Texas leads 1-0. Lois Joel denied. Texas trying to clear it. There's Henson sending it out to the right over to Turner. Turner up the right side. West Virginia retreating. Turner crosses and just past Jett.
Good stuff, Emma Jett. Keep it going, Emma Jett. Come on. Keep going, Emma Jett.
This was Jett on the other end blocking the shot. You can see the white jerseys just trying to create a little bit of a wall, and then Jett steps out really fast to the ball to cut off that shot by Joel there.
I don't think, I mean, you can't be judged to make sure she isn't offside, but.
Flores sends it ahead. Joel. St. George. St. George has a little crease, sends it ahead. Gentili sends it to the middle. Oh, and just off the foot of Ferrer Van Ginkel. An opportunity missed for West Virginia. Amanda Seaman back into the game for West Virginia.
Nice ball over top here from St. George, and unlucky that the service here was just a little bit too tough to handle for Ferrer Van Ginkel's, bouncing up just a little bit. But I like that idea, again, instead of sending in a ball that's kind of probing, actually looking up and picking out a runner inside that box. I think that's where they're going to get more opportunities.
Mackenzie McFarland, number 18, in for Texas. So as the substitutions continue, as both coaches trying to keep everyone fresh out on the pitch. Throw in for West Virginia on the far side.
I don't know, but I'll look it up.
Seaman, Amanda Seaman, senior, to throw it in. Gordon, who thought she had a goal earlier but was called offside. And stepping into the passing lane, Katie Glenn, who had a breather earlier, back onto the pitch. Then Texas turns it over. Lois Joel over to St. George. St. George. Ferrer Van Ginkel. Denied by Chelsea Supri, who goes to the pitch. The attack. And it gets away from Jade Gentili.
So here's West Virginia being a bit more patient and around the box, and then Ferrari Van Ginkel tries to slip it in, but a last effort there from Chelsea Supree, who's just been tough on that right side all night long to beat, slides it out of bounds, or toward that right side.
And she was hurting earlier. Remember, she had been helped by her teammates for the cramps earlier, and she looks like she's hobbled again as she comes off the pitch. But yes, as she stretched out to make that defensive play,
she's
forcing her out
so hard. I mean, she has worked so hard on that right side, and you can see she's a little emotional, I think, upset that she has to come out because she's playing so well, and she knows that there's an opportunity here to beat West Virginia on their home field. I mean, this would be a huge win for Texas, so she's really frustrated she has to come out in this moment, but she'll have Cameron Brooks going in for her on that right side to try and deal with Gordon right now.
15 minutes to go in the second half. Henson battling. And nice work by Esther Maya-Keith to take it away. Brooks, Cameron Brooks came in for Supree earlier for
Emma,
Texas.
great ball, Emma.
Maya-Keith just rushing back. Henson is hard to keep up with, and she had to gain some ground on her there, track her down, win that ball, and again, we just saw her win a battle with Henson.
Giving West Virginia a chance, but then Emma Jett steps in. Jett pushing it ahead. Emma Jett plays it right into Maya-Keith, and diving on it.
Keep working, Emma. Keep working, Emma.
Is Riley Foster.
Emma. Keep it going. Keep it going, girl.
14 minutes to play in the second half. West Virginia trying to find the equalizer.
Come on, T. Come on, T. You got to get back on side.
Earlier, we saw Gordon score, but there was the penalty.
Well, she just was standing a little bit too far behind that defensive line, so called offside on her. And she had a great shot, and it was a nice slip through. So I still think they should take encouragement from that great play and keep up the pressure here going toward the end of the game.
Hannah Abraham plays it into the box. And we're going to take a look at what happened in the box as a Texas player went rolling. A foul called. Let's take a look back as it was Mashana that picking herself up. And a handball was called on the defense. This is going to give a penalty shot for Bianca St. George. Lines up for the penalty kick. Stutters and scores. West Virginia equalized, and it was on a penalty kick after the handball in the box was called on Texas. St. George is 3 for 3 on penalty kicks in her career, and she finishes on a big one there.
She just buries this one in that right post. A little bit of hip fake there, it kind of froze Curry. Lots of pace on that shot into that far corner. And St. George has been active all game, pushing forward, trying to help on offense, and then you see they're helping in the best way, which is to get a goal across, something that hopefully can relieve this West Virginia team a little bit. It's like, okay, we've gotten this goal this weekend. And now hopefully they can continue the pressure and get one in the run-up play.
Let's take a look back at the handball that was called.
So at first the referee didn't seem to call it, and then he changed his mind. They have a fourth official down there on there that talked to him about where that was placed.
And you saw
inside the box was on the edge there.
And you saw right away the West Virginia player calling attention to it. She thought it had happened, and it was in the box, so that set up the penalty kick.
Keep discipline,
to tie this game up. So Texas scored first in the 19th minute in the first half. It wasn't until that penalty kick in the 77th minute that West Virginia was able to equalize. And it was on a handball call that set up the penalty kick for Bianca St. George. Right there, just catches her forearm. Here they come again. Gordon and West Virginia continuing to put pressure on this Texas defense. Segala with the cross. As it trickles to the opposite side, Hannah Abraham on that far side.
And here's Segala with lots of time and space and just rips it across the face of that goal there. And we've talked about this before the game, how sometimes soccer can be like hockey, where you just send bodies in front of the goal and then you just send one across and you're hoping just a little flick on with the head or a redirection or deflection and it can go in the goal. And Segala just not being able to pick out anybody there.
West Virginia regains possession, the crowd cheering them on. And a free kick.
Come on, Texas, be big! You got it, White!
Jordan Brewster, the freshman, with the free kick.
You got it, White!
Her mom is a breast cancer survivor. This game's so important to her. Her mom, Lynn, as she plays it into the box. St. George chasing it down, trying to keep it in play, and not able to.
Well, and the issue becomes for Texas here, they've been bunkering quite a bit these last 10, 15 minutes. So now you've got to transition out of that, push players back forward to try and get a goal. Even if you're still working the counterattack, you still have to open things up. And it's hard to change your energy when you've been sitting back and sitting back. So now they've got to push forward, and it's going to open things up for West Virginia as well.
Abram with the cross. St. George, who scored on that penalty kick, gets to the top of the 18 and scores! Bianca St. George scored on the penalty kick and then delivers the go-ahead goal to put West Virginia up 2-1. She had one goal on the season coming in and two now in today's game, both of them on the scoreboard. The only scores for West Virginia today.
There's so much about this pretty play. Her first touch, bringing it down, her cut across the middle here on the dribble, and then look how this curls away from Curry to that post. It just curls away from Curry's fingertips. And Bianca St. George takes it upon herself to take that space, take on, and then send that into the back of the net.
Last year, all Big 12 first team. She was a COSIDA Academic All-American and the team MVP last year, and she has been the game MVP today for the Mountaineers. Even before scoring the goals, she has been all over the pitch. She scored a PK in the 77th minute and followed it up with that goal in the 80th minute to put the Mountaineers up 2-1. Under 10 minutes to play here in Morgantown. Hannah Abram on the far side has it stolen away. And West Virginia has been unrelenting in their pressure, pushing it up, and we've seen goal, shot after shot, and finally it's paid off for them. Alexa Adams goes wide.
Come on, Horns, first and second.
First career 2-goal game for Bianca St. George.
Outside the box. Well,
let's take a look at both goals that have been scored here in the last few minutes for West Virginia.
This was off a handball out of the box, and St. George puts that one away. And this one, a totally different type of finish. You can see how that one's more finesse, it's more curl. She got her foot around the outside of the ball there to curl it away from Curry's fingers. So St. George, your defender that coming forward to put away 2 goals.
Free kick sent into the hands of Curry by Jordan Brewster. We talked about how many more attempts West Virginia has had in this game. They've had 19 shots compared to just 5 for Texas. 7 shots on goal to just 1 for Texas. Texas scored on that 1 goal. But West Virginia now with a 2-1 lead. And offside called on West Virginia. Nikki Izzo-Brown not happy about it on the sideline. So animated, so much passion for this team that in her 23rd season here, so much success. And they're going to give a yellow card to Segala.
And you're not allowed to jump toward the ball when the ball is kicked. So because now you're within that 10 yards, so you can jump up, but you can't move toward the ball before the ball is kicked. And so that's considered encroachment.
So now it's on Texas. Dulles. And here's the hero of the game, St. George. Brewster. And they're going to play it back to Foster. Just take their time at this point. 6.5 minutes to play. That shots on goal differential 7-1 in favor of West Virginia. Segala there trying to shield the ball. West Virginia had been on a 6-game win streak as they take another shot just wide by Jordan Brewster. But West Virginia had won 6 matches in a row before losing in overtime to Baylor on Friday. And what a comeback here in the second half for the Mountaineers. Continuing to put pressure on that Texas defense. Carly Allen checking in for Texas, number 5.
Come on, C, you gotta get there.
Adams for Texas up the right flank. Keep an eye on Berg and Henson, number 2 and number 13 for Texas. And off Segala, so Texas will have the throw-in, the check-in by Emily Strupauer of Texas. Thank you for joining us here at Dick DeLess Stadium in Morgantown, West Virginia for Big 12 Soccer, along with Jessica Stamp. I'm Brenda Van Lingen. Texas led for most of the match when they scored in the first half at the 19th minute mark on a goal by Berg, but it was the 77th minute when Bianca St. George of West Virginia scored on a penalty kick after a handball, and then on a goal in play at the 80th minute mark to take the 2-1 lead. We're under 5 minutes to go here in the second half.
No way! Look at your linesman!
That was some good help by Grace Cutler. She had dropped into the back line alongside Maya Keith to help out when Berg picked up that ball there. See, Berg was trying to slip it and find Hinson running in behind, but Cutler added a body along that back line, making those channels really tight and hard to play through.
Bianca St. George once again that has scored both. She has scored both goals. Out to Hannah Abraham. Texas has only lost one game this year. That was to TCU last Sunday. This is only the 15th time all year that they have trailed. And they hadn't lost a game this year where they scored first. And they scored first in this game, but trail 2-1.
It does look like they've changed to a 3-back Texas. So they took out Paige Hooper, brought in Stroop-Hauer, so they're pushing another player into the midfield to try and get the equalizer. But so far, West Virginia just up to the task defensively.
Bianca St. George will play in the corner kick. And now throw in by St. George. Gill over to St. George, who has controlled and trying to get the possession back. Here comes Texas. And the crowd pleased West Virginia with the steal. Jordan Brewster ahead. And an offside penalty on Sigala. Good defense by West Virginia to thwart the Texas run.
So this is when you're happy in a tight game. It's 2-1. You have one of the best defensive lines in the country. And here's Jordan Brewster, who's a freshman on that line. But we talked about how she's playing kind of above her grade. And she's been in with the 20s as well before. And she's also played forward before. So she's been getting up a lot today in this game, but been great defensively on that left side, along with her more experienced seniors in the center back, Flores and Maya Keith, and of course St. George out wide here, the junior.
Mashana lines up for the free kick.
Behind you.
Sends it ahead. Texas with 1:17 left to try to tie this game in West Virginia, and Hannah Abraham with the steal. Abraham pushing up the side against Jett.
Yeah, she's going to the corners here to close out this game, try and kill some time.
1 minute remaining, 1 minute.
Texas sloppy with the ball, but West Virginia not able to get it. Texas with the throw in. Hinson pops it ahead to Berg. Flores. And again, we see the experienced back line, Esther Maya Keith there. West Virginia wearing their pink today to raise awareness, raise money for breast cancer. It was a special game for them for that reason. But a special game for the way they came back in this one, too.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
And West Virginia will be able to complete the comeback, winning over Texas 2-1 to bounce back from their loss here at home on Friday night. They've now won one game in a row and starting that home game win streak over.
Shows the character of this team. They aren't going to let some frustrations on offense get them down. They're going to keep plugging away, keep playing pretty soccer, knowing what they do best. And then sometimes you just have to rely on someone like St. George to turn things around with her personality, her energy for this West Virginia side.
It was Bianca St. George scoring both goals for the Mountaineers. They come away with the victory over Texas in Big 12 soccer. We'll be back after this. The West Virginia Mountaineers trailed most of the game until they scored on a penalty kick in the 77th minute, and then Bianca St. George scored the game winner in the 80th minute. The Mountaineers moved to 8-3-3, 4-1 in Big 12 play with the win. On behalf of Jessica Stamp and our entire crew, I'm Brenda Van Langen from Morgantown, West Virginia. West Virginia with the victory over Texas.